Next, inshallah, we have Dr. Aboubakar Idriss. تفضل مشكور.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. Thank you, Sheikh Zuhair, Brother Mustafa, and everyone. This conference has been an amazing experience for myself, and I think it's an amazing experience for everyone who attended this conference. In the first day of the conference, I spoke about teachings. I spoke about the Prophet ﷺ methodology of teaching, how the Prophet was teaching the Sahaba. The second day, I spoke about how education changed my life and how it helped me change other people's lives. But today, what I want to do is I want to speak about something practical that that I realize slowly it's concerning more people in the community, especially in Victoria, because the Muslim community here is bigger than the community in Camden River and Comox Valley. So what I want to speak about is education options for our youth overseas. So what I've noticed in the last few years that I've noticed more youth asking questions about furthering their higher education overseas. Now, traditionally, people who think about going overseas are the ones who are interested in going to, let's say, study Sharia or Arabic language or Islamic studies. However, we have recently noticed more youth going overseas to study medical programs. We have noticed more youth going overseas to study engineering. There are many reasons for this. Some of the, if you're not aware, I will just quickly go through some of the reasons why some families and some youth think about going overseas. The first reason is going into medical schools here in Canada is very difficult. Admissions requirements are very high, and seats are very limited. So sometimes you don't have an option. You apply everywhere, and you don't get accepted. That's number one. Number two, if you did your university here, you'll notice that some of the campuses are not Muslim-friendly campuses. So some families and some of the sisters think about going to a more conservative campus or Islamic environment to further their education. There's a third reason as well. If the student doesn't get any type of grant or loan to further their education, some university programs are very, very expensive, especially if we talk about medical schools and like that. So these reasons make some families and some of the youth think of going overseas to further their education. So what I want to do now, I want to give you some practical information and practical examples of what can you do with regards to that. So there are two main countries that I recommend for you, and then there are some special mentions if you're interested in that. The two countries that I would like to recommend for you is, number one is Malaysia. Myself, Sheikh Hassan, and maybe a few people here have experience in that country in some sort. I did most of my education over there as well. So the advantages of going there to further education, number one, your credentials are recognized here. So you can continue your education here if you want, or you can go through the accreditation process if you want here. That's number one. Number two, it's absolutely and extremely very cheap. So some university there some accredited university. I'm not just talking about some 7-Eleven universities, right? So some accredited universities there. Brother Ahmed as well, he has experience in Malaysia. I forgot him. Yeah. So it starts from 500 Canadian dollars per year. Think about this number again. 500 per year. This is real. This is not a fake number. Now it goes up all the way to 25,000 a year. Right? But here's the thing, most of the universities over there, most of the recognized government universities over there, the average is 2,500 a year. So you can go to a good school, study in English, your degree is recognized here, If you're familiar with WES accreditation, it's the organization that accredits any qualification from overseas here in Canada. They recognize all degrees from Malaysia. So $2,500 a year for tuition fees. There are so many examples. The PowerPoint didn't work, otherwise I would have showed you really some examples. But if anyone interested, some of the universities that you can go to there are IIUM, UNIMAP, UNIMAS, UTM. All these universities are very good. The programs are in English. The environment is a majority Muslim country. IIUM is actually an Islamic university. That's where I went myself. And living expenses are between 500 to 700 Canadian dollars per month. Now, 500 to 700 per month in the capital. If you're living outside of the capital, the living expenses are way less than that, all right? So that's for Malaysia. Now, the only disadvantage over there that I could think of actually is if you don't look Asian, like myself, right? Expect some type of prejudice in the treatment you get. Some, I would say. I don't want to generalize this because some people's experience was completely different than mine, but expect something like that. So if you are, let's say, living in the capital city, most likely that will happen most of the time, but that's the only really thing I can think of. There isn't anything else negative that I can think of. The environment is beautiful, the country is beautiful, it's developed, and it's really a very good choice. Now, the second option is Turkey, and Turkey is the best option if you're interested to do a medical program. It's a majority Muslim country. They have a lot of excellent universities, a lot of excellent facilities there. The average tuition fees for medical schools over there is $20,000 US per year. However, in terms of living expenses, accommodation, it depends where in Turkey you are, but let's say the most expensive place you are in Istanbul, right? You are in Istanbul. We're looking at between $700 to $800 per month. However, if you're outside Istanbul, it's way cheaper than that. But even in Istanbul, I have a personal friend who lives in Istanbul right now. I have been there. I've went to his apartment. His yearly rent, not his monthly, his yearly rent is 1,900 Canadian dollars per year, right? That's his yearly rent. There was an apartment vacant next to his apartment. I went there, and my wife is here, she can testify for that. I went there, I looked at the apartment, I took a video of the apartment, I told her, so what do you think? Should we? Right? So, because it was extremely really cheap. So Turkey is a very good option if you're interested in medical programs. Some special mentions, I will give two special mentions. If you're interested in doing Arabic, there is a very good center in Egypt called Al-Fajr Center. You can Google it, Al-Fajr Center. It's an excellent place to learn Arabic for youth or for adults. It's extremely cheap. One level is around $140 for the entire level. And it's been tried by so many people. I'm not sure, Sheikh Hassan, I think you've been there, right?
I didn't study there, but I know it's very popular and it's very reputable.
Yeah. And the second special mention is Saudi Arabia. There is a website called Sijil.com. If you're interested in the spelling, just let me know. You were supposed to be in the PowerPoint. It's called Sijil.com. So this website tells you all universities in Saudi Arabia. When the admission starts, what are the required documents, what's the website you go to apply. It gives you all the information. Saudi Arabia, people know about Islamic University in Medina. However, there are so many other options. Al-Qura University, Al-Qasim University, Al-Jof University, Al-Majma University. There are so many universities that accept international students from overseas. Tuition fee is zero. You don't pay anything. They provide you accommodation. And in some cases, they even provide you a monthly allowance. So that's a very good place if you're interested to study Arabic, Islamic studies, and even some other programs except medical programs. Those are the only programs that you can't study there. So the reason why I actually decided to speak about this topic is that I've noticed some youth in the past, let's say 2 years, that went overseas to study, but I've noticed that the place they chose wasn't really the right place for their profile, for what they were looking for. Because just because the environment is conservative or Islamic environment, that doesn't mean the place is the best place for you. If you're trying to study medicine between Malaysia and Turkey, Turkey is definitely the best place for you, because Malaysia in medical programs is not really the best place. However, if you're trying to study engineering or other programs here, Malaysia is definitely better, the ranking is better, the university is better. So always make sure you do your research. There are so many options overseas. The world is not limited to one place. Have an open mind, look for other options. If you can get education here, that's definitely the best thing you can do. But if you can't, if it's expensive, if you don't get accepted, there are other options overseas. I will be here all day today, inshallah, throughout the program. Anyone has any questions, please let me know. You can reach out to me also on all my social medias. Jazakumullah khair wa barakallah fikum. And I would like to thank OBRF and everyone involved for organizing this amazing conference. I've been with them since the first day, and I can see a lot of the work they do behind the scenes. This wasn't a job that was done in a day or two. They took months to organize this. So since I have the mic, I want to take this opportunity to thank you all, everyone, all the volunteers, all the youth, and everyone for organizing this. Jazakumullah khair wa barakallah fikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.